Good evening. This is the September 18th, 2025 meeting in the Planning and Zoning Commission. The time is 6:01. Our first order of business is to review the cases for this evening. We'll convene back into regular session at 6:30.
You have to go back out and redo it?
No, I did. He made me.
Oh, we didn't hear you in here. Okay, usually sometimes we do, oh, well, whatever.
So when they check it, they just look at it.
Okay.
All right.
Item number 2, work session. We'll start tonight with a roll call of all the members of the commission present tonight. I am Sue Blankenship, Vice Chair. Cindy Bishop.
Here?
Ed Marr.
Present.
Kent Hafman.
Hafman.
Not here. And John, I'm going to mess up your name too, Dobmeyer.
Bang, dead on. Here.
The first order of business is, I'm Sue Blankenship, Vice Chair of the Commission. Commissioner members, we already did that. Chairman Haas is joining us virtually tonight.
Yep.
I'm going to mess this all up.
Should be logging on shortly.
Okay.
If he's in already.
The first order of business is to begin the work session as identified on item 2 of the agenda as we discuss each case. I'll turn the work session over to Mary Farm Boswell. Mary, will identify staff members present, then lead the discussion.
Thank you, Vice Chair Blankenship. So I'm Mary Farm Boswell, Senior Planner. We've got Matt Steer, Development Services Administrator, Mr. Cole Baker, Graduate Engineer, Mr. Bob Hager, City Attorney, and Ms. Cammie McGee, our Secretary. So, let's see. The first item on your agenda this evening is AC Hotel by Marriott. I'll let Mr. Steer go over that since he was presenting that tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Perone Boswell. The hotel is located just west of South Beltline, north of 635, and one of the interior tracks of the Point West project. Let's see here. It was previously approved as a Hilton Garden Inn site. And then we administratively approved a change to AC by Marriott. Subsequently, they came forward and are requesting 4 additional rooms. So they've added on about 200 square feet to the building footprint and about 400 square feet to the gross square footage of the building. So by requesting four rooms, they're requiring a parking variance. So they've added a shuttle to and from the airport and surrounding businesses. So we're in favor of the requested variance and the PD amendment. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I had a question because I drove by there.
Yeah.
And it looks like the extension, they've already started construction on the extra. Is that the area on the west side, north side, and it's only 2 stories?
They started building that one?
Well, they shouldn't have started on this one.
It's a brand new hotel.
This
Yeah.
is behind
Yeah,
the
okay.
Dunkin' Donuts and the Panera inset.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, not,
So,
okay.
so you're thinking maybe of the Homewood Suites site?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a
Okay.
Hilton Garden Inn that's a companion hotel with that.
Okay, because it looks like they built the building and then they started adding a piece onto it.
Okay, so that's the Hilton Garden Inn that moved over there.
That's
This is a
over
different
here.
site.
This
Got
one's
it.
over here.
Okay,
Right. And I'll pull up the aerial.
good, because
out
I was
there.
confused by that.
Yeah. So, any questions, concerns?
So the plan that they present here is 134 rooms, but that is the legacy plan?
That's the new plan.
Because it says they used to have 134, now they're
It is
adding
on-
4.
Right, and that was a mistake in the staff report. It should have said it there, they're at 130,
Okay.
and they're moving it to 134.
Okay.
And I've amended that,
Okay.
and the one that's posted online is the correct version.
Okay.
And I just noted that Chairman Hawes has joined us virtually.
Does he have a question?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, quick question for you, man.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a variance approved in the initial request for the hotel for parking?
There was.
So this is a second variance on top of the previous variance?
Well, the previous one the previous one requested one parking space per room plus one per 200 square feet of the meeting space. And so that was a slight variance because it's typically one per 200 square feet of the commercial area. And that would include your restaurant and your meeting space. But we've seen with previous hotel variances that's pretty common.
And let's just say that things go bonkers and there becomes a parking issue. What recourse does the city have, if any, if we grant the variance?
Well, they do have the shuttle service. So you could require 2 shuttle buses as opposed to the one that they're proposing. That would be one suggestion. The other thing is for the overall concept plan, there is a shared parking area that primarily the restaurants and retail users use that, but we could have them get a shared parking agreement with the property owner.
So what does the shuttle bus actually accomplish?
Well,
Do they
primarily
require a
they're
certain number of people to take that?
well, so primarily their visitors are corporate travelers from DFW.
So they don't need the parking, so they can use the shuttle, and then they can use the shuttle if they want to come into an area immediately adjacent to go to Cypress Waters or in the
Right.
Coppell, they would use the shuttle. So it relieves the parking.
So you're saying by forcing them to have the shuttle, they're less likely to have everybody have a car?
Yes.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay.
Then how do you enforce that PD? I know it's attached to the PD as a condition, but how would we
Enforce shuttles?
the shuttle?
We'll just make sure they have one. Yeah.
They would have to show proof that they had a shuttle service available.
Right.
Bring us picture of concierge requirements, or the check-in people and whoever
Yeah.
operating a picture of the
And-
shuttle.
Yeah,
And
we
the
just
truth
require a
is a
picture.
lot of people Uber anyway.
Yeah.
I was just gonna
Or
say
the
that,
Uber.
yeah.
Right, and that was what we
Or
saw
what-
with the Town Place case across in the Victory Project. You know, their reason for asking for it is everyone ride shares from the airport, so.
Yeah.
And we actually approved the variance, just allowing their room count, their parking to match their room count there. So they're adding spaces in addition to their room count.
And so this would be slightly more aggressive than that, right?
This would be slightly less intensive.
Less intensive,
Yeah.
okay.
Because over that, you basically have the buffer of the 200 feet per meeting room.
Yeah.
Well,
added from what
well,
they do.
they're requesting, with this request, one parking space per 450 square foot of meeting space, as opposed to the one per 200.
Okay.
So
And what was it in the?
it was one per 200 previously.
But in the other hotel that you were mentioning?
They just parked one per room. So
No-
they didn't
no
include
adder.
their meeting space.
One per room.
Yeah, they didn't have any meeting space. They had common area, but they really didn't have any
Right.
meeting space.
Okay. But what, I guess.
Well,
we-
no, they had meeting space, but they just parked at one per room, and that's what we had granted. So I
Okay,
went
so
through the
yeah, so this would be, they're parking like 137.
137, yeah.
Okay, at 134.
134 rooms, yeah.
Okay, okay. Got it.
Does that answer your question, Eddie?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I just wanted to make sure that there is some plan of action if it does become an issue. With all the Uber and stuff, you know, I feel that it ought to work just fine.
Yeah. We heard that.
Sorry about that.
And then on there's, so one loading zone, which I think is typical for sort of a limited service hotel. 'Cause I don't think they have a lot of food service, but I don't know that that's a big issue, but since that was called out.
Yeah, that was just previously approved, so
Okay.
I just carried forward that condition.
Where is the loading zone? I don't even see it.
It's on the west side.
On the west side.
Yeah, right there.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
All right, Mary?
Anything else? We're good? Yep. All right, so, the second item, or public hearing, relates to McDonald's. So on 125 South Denton Tap, there currently exists a McDonald's. So what they're looking to do is to tear that down and build a new one. That one's been around since about 1987. Over the years, it's had a few changes where they added like the double drive-through.
Took out the train.
Took out the
Took the
train.
train.
Go the train, yes.
And so what they're looking to put back, currently it's about 3,900 square feet. It's gonna come back about 200 square feet bigger than what is currently there. It's gonna go from angled parking, okay, so on the north side, there's angled parking. On the east side, along Denton Tap, there's 90-degree parking. And on the south side, there's 90-degree parking currently. With the new setup, it's gonna have angled parking north and south, so it'll be like a one direction that you can drive. Still gonna have this double drive-through. Like I said, it's about 200 square feet bigger. This layout actually has more landscaping than what is currently there. So part of that is, I think where the dumpster is currently, they're gonna angle it, they're gonna have some outside dry storage added. So they're gonna be about 5 parking spaces short of what they currently have and what's required. But with the double drive-through, that has about 13 parking spaces. So, and in speaking with them, essentially a lot of their business is drive-through. So staff doesn't really have a problem with the parking variance, since they're gonna have like at least 5, what was it? 6 and 7 in the drive-through area,
Is
so
it stacked?
13. Stacked, yeah. One of the,
Well, it makes me wonder, if they have any meaningful number of people here, then these 4 spaces are useless.
well, but
They are hard to get in and out of, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But realistically, people I think would park probably
Yeah.
along Denton Tap or on the other side of that.
Yeah.
So currently, their lobby hours are from about somewhere like 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then drive-through is pretty much open 24/7. They don't plan really on changing the hours of operation, maintaining essentially the same thing. Now, the one thing that they are also requesting is a variance to their monument sign. Currently, I don't think they really have a monument sign out there. There's like a little sign when you first drive in on the southern thing. I don't know if that's really a monument sign or more of a directional sign.
Well, they've got a directional sign and they've got
a little monument.
a little monument
Yeah,
sign,
it's
yeah.
small.
But it's sunken into their parking area.
So what they're asking for, typically we allow a 40 square foot monument sign, so 4 foot in height. But because of the location of where they want to put the sign, and we're still trying to work out the exact location, because what they're showing right now is in an island, and maybe try and move it up. we're trying to work out some stuff with the water line where they can actually do it, and footings and all that kind of stuff. So they're asking for it to be 5 foot tall, but it's only 3.5 foot wide. So it's significantly smaller in overall size, but it would be about a foot taller than is normal or what is allowed. I think because of the way the property is, it kind of slopes down from the street to where the parking lot is.
Yeah, there's a pretty good grade difference.
Yeah, so we're not opposed to giving a little bit extra height in order to make it a little bit more visible for them. So like I said, they are adding landscaping, more landscaping to the site. The existing parking along Denton Tap, like I said, is pretty much gonna remain in that location. It's 14 foot wide, where it's typically 15 foot, but we've allowed that because there's a fire lane that goes through there and a lot of other things that go through there. We're okay with that, maintaining that 14 foot landscape strip.
Now, those parking spaces that are along Denton Tap, they're labeled as, I forgot what it was, pickup or Uber Eats, or, I forgot what the labeling is.
To the southern end, yeah.
To go.
Yeah. Yeah, the to-go
parking.
parking, so
Yeah.
is, I mean, even though that's restricted to that type of parking, is that still comply with the parking ordinance?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't differentiate between to-go space versus in dining.
Right, but I don't think our ordinance says anything about it, because
That
that
doesn't-
kind of
It
happened
is.
with
Yeah.
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah.
Became COVID,
Okay.
post-COVID.
So, yeah.
Most
we
people
said we
don't comply with that either.
What?
Well, there's that.
So we have, so, you know, they've been toying with the idea of adding like a third window to the existing building, also ultimately deciding to build this new building. So the new building will have kind of like pay window and then 2 pickup windows. So in terms of signage, only the monument sign is what we've seen. There's other signs shown on the building, but we're not approving those through this process. They'll have to come through and apply. We did send out the notices. So we did get 2 respondents to this request. One that's directly behind the McDonald's. Essentially, they were undecided in terms of, and you should have, I think I handed you the letters and stuff. So the first one, the undecided, so they were concerned about noise from deliveries, garbage pickup,
Pressure washer.
yeah,
Late
noise
late
from
night cleaning.
pressure washer, cleaning, lighting, the glare, that kind of stuff. So they had some, I think, some recommendations or conditions that they were hoping to have. Where did the letters go? So stuff like maybe not letting them pressure wash like after 10 o'clock, having the shielded lights, doing the studies. So we do a photometric study with the building permit anyway, so kind of some of that stuff is already built into our process. And some of it will just be, so like operations, I don't think we have control over when the garbage comes to get picked up. And
Seems like they could though, could they not?
what's that?
They could.
I don't know. Like
Well,
if they-
one of the things that we get concerned about really weird hour stuff is we don't have anybody to code enforcement to do anything about it. I mean, if they're picking up at 6:30 and they're supposed to pick up at 7 and they call and complain, there's really not anybody in code that enforces the zoning ordinance that time of day, so it's difficult for us to do enforcement in those weird hours.
Does the city of Coppell have a contract with their public services for trash pickup, or is this individually for commercial use, they individually
They
contract?
use Republic, I believe.
Well, yeah, it says
It's-
they do.
It's individual.
Okay,
yeah,
but
for
the city
personal
doesn't
business.
require everybody in the city use Republic, right?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
But-
Just the
well,
resi- just the
residential.
Just the
right?
residential.
And we don't
I don't
control.
know if we do, we just did the new contract, and
Okay.
for the life of me, I can't remember.
Okay, yeah, I don't know for sure.
Okay.
So the,
Because if so, the city could say, Republic, don't pick up before.
Yeah.
Well, we can definitely have a conversation with them about that,
Mhm.
but I'm just saying, I'm not sure if that's something that we can put as a condition per se.
Got it.
so Mary, so the photometrics already built into the process?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's nothing in the report about the photometric. This may be hard to answer, if the photometric, the lights that are there today compared to the current requirement for photometric, if you can
Right.
see my visual example here.
I just thought you were afflicted with something.
Well, I am that too. Is the new requirement, I guess, more conservative than what's currently out there? Or would it be?
So I'm
Yeah,
not sure if it,
It
if
may be hard to
it's,
answer.
Yeah,
yeah.
because it sounds like they're frustrated with the current condition as well.
Yeah, I know when they came in and changed out the regular lights to the LEDs,
Yeah.
we did have numerous complaints because it was so bright.
Yeah.
But I think we worked with them to shield those lights, and, you know, maybe they're still not happy with that, but
It's that white.
now it's a do-over. Now it's a do-over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they would have to comply with photometrics, and we'll pay close attention to that during the building.
Because they said even
process.
after shields were added, the glare remains intrusive and unreasonably bright.
Okay, yeah.
And, yeah,
I suspect they will bring that up in person as well.
Yes, if they do show up. But, you know, a lot of it is like these lights are probably not any more wattage than the lights that were here before, but because they're LED, they're brighter. And
Yeah.
so they get that glow.
Mhm.
White, yeah.
We have this problem in a lot of cities where they change out the bulbs and go to the LED bulbs.
yeah.
And now they have adjustable ones where you can control the throw as well. You basically back the LED up into a cavity and it shrinks.
Yeah.
It shrinks the glow area.
Shrinks the
or
glow, yeah.
The bleed.
Yeah.
You can ask them if they're willing to do it. We can-
Yeah.
And we did that on one of the sports fields a while back, at if you remember that, where it was, like, we were particularly concerned about the surrounding
Yeah,
houses.
Mockingbirdies,
Yeah.
or the middle school, is what I was
Middle school.
trying to.
But those were, I mean, those were high, so
Yeah.
that's a little
Yeah,
different.
they had controls on those.
So in terms of the noise regulation that they're referring to, unlawful and generated noise that disturbs peace and comfort of adjacent residents, what's this kind of span and scope of that?
See, because I think they're talking about high-pressure washers and motorized blowers and stuff after 10 PM is what they're listing here. So we can talk to them about not doing that stuff after 10
Certainly
PM.
gas
But I
powered
think-
anything, I think is probably not
Yeah,
good at
the
that time of
pressure
night.
washers, they usually do it after the last business closes on site. So they're out there at weird hours. I mean, I live near a Kroger shopping center and I can hear it. Because
Yeah.
there's no ambient noise.
Mhm.
And, you know, you can, on a good night, if it's really quiet, you can hear jet takeoff going south.
We can
From
hear jets take
DFW.
off anyway.
Yeah.
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 It doesn't
But
have
I'm
to be
just
a
saying
quiet
at
night.
that time, it exacerbates the sound because there's nothing up to break that sound. So it's, when the ambient noise goes down, it probably doesn't bother them during the day, but, and then the speakers. I don't know if you were on, when they put the drive-throughs, the double drives and everything, they had the speakers and they agreed to ratchet those down so that that noise didn't carry it late at night
Mhm.
when the ambient noise goes down.
Yeah.
I think that, didn't they turn those down, Matt, if I'm saying, like at 10 or something like that? They went from something decibels down to.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was McDonald's or if that was
150.
Deli Man.
Or
No, that was
151 required
151
that.
that we.
151.
Yeah,
Yeah.
151 was the
151.
coffee, or the
Yeah.
coffee,
Yeah.
the music.
Right, we had them face it towards the street.
Yeah.
Not towards the sidewalk.
Yeah. And they had to turn the music down or off at a certain hour.
Yeah, so that might be a reasonable add, you know, is,
Yeah, I mean, I think that the power washing piece is a tricky one because it'd be difficult to do that during the day, during business operations, and so,
But, I mean,
Could request
Our
to get a
little-
battery operated sprayer.
Yeah.
well, except for.
And these people didn't complain about the
Other
speakers.
than on Friday night when there's
No.
a football game or something like that, I got McDonald's on Tuesday night is really packed at 10 o'clock or at 9 o'clock. So it seems like they might be able to do it, except for if they're doing it on the weekend. When there's a lot of people in town for an activity, like on a Friday night during the fall, Thursday night, when we have a lot of sports activities in town, people stop for McDonald's coming and going.
So the other one was,
but before,
Yeah.
but just a reference, the McDonald's was there prior to the
20 years.
The house.
housing division,
Yeah.
okay, so,
So the McDonald's at 1987.
Yeah.
The housing development, like 2007, from what I,
Yeah, there was a field
Yep.
back then.
For a long time, yeah.
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 The other letter was from someone off of Jupiter Drive. So that's about 100 feet away from this site. Essentially, they were talking about the loud, let me see, loud dumpster trash pickup. I guess they just built a pool, so they're afraid of dust and other airborne debris. So that they can't be in their backyard during construction.
If they'd let them do it right away, they can do it in the winter.
So in terms of when are they looking to build this and tear this down and everything else, if they get approved, then they're looking to start as soon as possible. So like probably by the end of the year, tear down, go right into construction. I think they're looking to have it built hopefully by spring, so that they're up and going. Because obviously they make money when it's built. So those were the only two responses that we received. In terms of conditions, essentially to allow two drive-throughs, the landscaping as presented, the same hours of operation, and the monument sign as they're presented. And I think staff will have to work out the exact location of that based on footings and other easements that are in that area. So.
So they're getting rid of, just looking at how this is today,
Yeah,
today there's a possibility for people to drive from one side to the other without blocking the drive-through lane. And it looks like that will not be the case anymore. You cannot drive around this thing unless you
You
go
have to
out
to
into
the alley.
out into the alley and then come back in. Because today, if you look at it today, that you can see that there is.
There's like an escape lane.
There's an escape lane.
Yeah,
There's
there's two spots here. They're taking that up because now the two lanes start way back here. So it's even gonna be difficult for people to park over here slotted this way. They're literally gonna have to go through the alley and come back in. Did
yeah,
they
there's
move the-
mutual access in the alley though.
yeah. I
And
think
it
the majority,
dead ends over there.
and the double drive-through, it's not gonna be open all the time, right? Like it's, I'm sure it's be open during peak hours, not necessarily.
But it
Yeah, but
goes
the way
down
that-
to one lane.
Yeah, the way they
starts
set it
out
up,
at two and
it
then
starts
goes
out
down
as
one
two
and
lanes,
then
it's
back.
one lane, there's no choice at that point.
There's two ordering lanes.
There's no driving past that. There's no driving through that, I don't think. If there's anybody in the drive-through, it's not, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you want
but-
to park, you'd have to cross access.
And I'm sure they limit that access. They have a curve going through around there. 'Cause
Right,
they don't
but
want,
it's real tight anyway if you
jutting out.
try to drive that. So people drive through the alley anyway. They're already
Yeah, it's
doing
really
it.
tight.
Yeah,
Very tight.
okay.
I do the alley.
But it does it basically dead ends at 150, because 151 goes all the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna move on to cases from city council. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay, so we did take ordinances for the golf track and 804 Bullock. That was approved at city council on September 9th. We also took forward the Goodwill case. That was denied by city council. PDs for Pecan Creek Shopping Center, Lake Ridge Elementary, and Victory Coppell were approved by city council. So we'll be taking those ordinances back to them October 14th.
But they,
That's
but
why city
you
rules
see
down
city
to
council
10
denied.
But however,
Took
they,
away
I
a
think they
requirement for traffic
removed the
study
condition
to
of
Lakewood.
the traffic study, right?
They did remove the condition of the traffic study.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I still have a large concern with, because it sounded like from the notes from city council that the reason for the removal was not to unduly burden the school district.
Financial.
However,
I think that's
this
part of it.
traffic study would have been part of the construction and renovation, thus a capitalized cost, thus be paid for by the bond. Would have been something that would have hit the school P&L. So
I think what I took out of it was when they were talking about the number of students, that currently there's about 600, if I remember correctly, and I've slept since then, but there's like 4 new pre-K classes. So I thought I heard that there was maybe like 80 additional students. So I think the number of students maybe was a little bit different at P&Z versus.
because they said it was like 480, but the school was designed for a capacity of 600, and then it was going to a capacity of 680. So I think they were saying it's going to go from a capacity of 600 to 680,
Right.
As from a capacity standpoint. But the real question is, if you're going from 480 to 680 with actual
Today versus.
the actual today versus future, and you're changing the mode of transportation largely, or you could largely be changing it. I mean, those are all the factors that you would really want to do a TIA. And like, I think generally speaking, like from the research I've done, if you're adding, even 50 students, typically it requires a TIA, because the time frame when students are dropped off or picked up, it's a compressed time frame. And so even a small number of people can cause, significant issues and so forth. So I don't know, the reason I'm bringing it up is I think it is, even though it was removed, I don't know that there's anything that can be done at this point, but I do think this is one of those situations where it definitely should be required, because this is a daily impact to all the surrounding community, and and knowing that what the traffic study would do would be to educate you on here are the potential impacts. Not to say you couldn't go through with it, it would just help you understand how maybe you want to modify pickup times or flow of traffic and so forth, and to
So
be
when
able
you
to.
do that, when you do have
mitigate.
Part of that would also be is how you stack queue and handle traffic
Right.
interior. And that's what's gonna cause the backup.
Yes.
If there's delays inside the queue, now that traffic's gonna sit out in the street, and that's why it needs to be done.
Yeah, so I'm not necessarily suggesting that, like, we didn't have all the information, or they didn't have all, or the information changed, or that there was, some miscommunication, or we didn't understand, or they didn't understand. I'm not necessarily suggesting that, but I do think, though, that it does seem like, when you take a step back and look at it, it does look like it would certainly warrant this, that.
I think that if this were a private school that was doing the same thing, they would have required it. I think they did it as an accommodation to the school district and the struggle they're going through to handle our student population with reduced facilities.
Which I understand,
It's more
yeah.
emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I understand that from a from.
I think on their end though,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna look at it anyway, because I think they understand that they're gonna have more kids. I think,
I think internally they have to have some kind
Yeah.
of traffic control plan
Mhm.
for them to operate.
Yes.
cause the parents,
Because the
you know,
parents will go to the,
Yeah.
yeah,
For sure, for sure.
I think it'll resolve itself.
and I think that that helped the council feel like that they could relieve that responsibility, because if there's a problem, either we're gonna talk to the school district, or the parents will talk to the school district, so there's accountability, where if it were a private entity, we don't have the same level of accountability to customers and the students.
Yeah, so I think internally, I think they've already started looking at how to make it better.
Okay, is that the
Yeah.
full update from council?
Yes, ma'am.
One thing, you're going to get an amendment, a text change amendment, and that might talk about, because of, I don't think we'll ever have a problem, but we'll have to make some amendments to some of the processes for opposition on residential cases. There's more notice requirements. I don't think it'll ever apply to us, but I think we're required to bring those text change amendments, so you may see them in a couple of months. And if you swim in these waters professionally, outside of your responsibility here, you might see those as well. Changes that the legislature makes us do now with residential property zoning changes.
Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, we'll now adjourn the work session. The time is 6:37. Does anybody need a short break? Okay, we'll resume the regular session at 6:45. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Manny, could you get Eddie on the screen, please?
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay, let's get started.
Thank
time
you.
You're welcome. The time is now 6:42, and the Planning and Zoning Commission is now reconvening into regular session. All members of the commission are present except Commissioner Halfman, and Chairman Haas is with us virtually. So with that, I will move to item 4, citizens' appearance. Persons wishing to speak on any matter other than an item scheduled for public hearing on the agenda must sign a register and list their residence address provided by the secretary on a table outside the meeting room, and such persons may be heard only at the citizens' appearance portion of the regular meeting or special meeting. Each speaker must state his or her name and address of residence. Presentations by individuals during the citizens' appearance shall be limited to 3 minutes each. An individual speaker's time may be extended for an additional 2 minutes with the approval of the majority of the commission members present. There shall be a cumulative limit of 20 minutes allotted of any regular or special commission meeting. Those persons who signed up to speak at the citizens' appearance shall be called upon in order that they have signed the provided register. No personal attacks by any speaker shall be made against any member of the commission, individual, or group. Cammie, did you receive any written comments for citizens' appearance?
No, I did not.
Since no comments were received, we will close the citizens' appearance and move on to item 4 on the agenda. Item 4 on the agenda. Hang on. It's item 5. Sorry, my apologies. Item 5 is approval of the August 21st, 2025 meeting minutes. of the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting minutes. Are there any questions or discussion by the commission? Is there a motion by the commission?
Yes, I'll make a motion, Vice Chairman. Move to approve the meeting minutes of August 21st, 2025, of Planning and Zoning.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Bishop?
Yes.
So there's a motion by Commissioner Mauer and a second by Commissioner Bishop. Cammie, would you please call the roll?
Please respond by saying aye or nay as I call your name. Commissioner Dobmeyer,
Aye.
Vice Chair Blankenship,
Aye.
Chairman Haas,
Aye.
Commissioner Mauer,
Aye.
and Commissioner Bishop.
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Okay, item 6 is a public hearing of PD 221R3R6 AC Hotel by Marriott. This is to consider the approval of PD-221R3R6 AC Hotel by Marriott, Lot 1R-8R, Block C, Duke Leslie Edition, a new detailed plan development, amending the currently approved hotels by adding 402 square feet and 4 rooms to the hotel layout on 2.66 acres of land located on the northwest quadrant of Highway 635 and South Beltline Road, at the request of D.K. Patel of Whitestone Hospitality Management, being represented by Alex Strimple with Quiddity Engineering, LLC. Matt, would you present the case, please?
Commissioners, good evening. In April 2020, Council approved a detailed site plan for a 5-story Hilton Garden Inn, approximately 77,500 square feet in size. This was administratively amended to allow an AC by Marriott with the same room and parking counts. With the current request, as you can see there, AC by Marriott is increasing the room count by 4, which requires 4 more parking spaces. They're proposing to offer a shuttle bus to and from the airport to offset the increase. And staff is comfortable recommending approval of this request with this as an added PD condition. There are very minor changes to the landscape plan, and they're adding a very small amount of landscape area, removing a proposed tree that conflicts with the utilities. The building is proposed to be 5 stories in height with a combination of charcoal gray brick, white, gray, and bronze ephes with gray metal panels and accented with dark bronze vertical louvers. Here's a digital version of the color board. We sent out 4 notices within 200 feet as required by state law and 6 notices within 800 feet as a courtesy. We have not received any response either in favor or opposition of the proposal. Staff is recommending approval of PD 221R3R6HC subject to the following conditions. 1, there may be additional comments at the time of building permit and detailed engineering review. 2, a shuttle service shall be provided to and from DFW Airport and surrounding businesses. 3, to allow the parking as proposed, 1 required parking space per room and 1 required parking space per 450 square feet of meeting space. And 4, the previously approved PD conditions shall be carried forward as follows. A, to allow a 5-foot landscape buffer along the southern property line. B, to allow 4 colors and greater coverage of secondary colors to match the hotel prototype colors. And C, to allow 1 loading zone on the west side of the building. That concludes my presentation, and I believe the applicant is in the audience if you have any questions for them, and I'm also available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Are there any questions or discussion by the commission? Is the applicant here to present the case?
We're here for questions.
Okay. Is there anyone here who would like to speak for or against? This is a public hearing. So is there anyone here who would like to speak for or against the proposed application? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Are there any questions or discussion by the commission?
Yes, could we actually bring the applicant up? One question.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Alex Strimple with Quiddity Engineering at 7413 Eastwood Avenue, McKinney, Texas, 75002. So as it relates to the shuttle service, is the plan to have one shuttle bus or two?
So we actually just texted the client about this, the developer. I think right now the plan is one, but he's not opposed to doing more. If that's a condition y'all want, he would definitely be willing to do two. Yeah.
Okay. And then in terms of, I'm not necessarily saying that's a suggested condition, but in terms of the utilization of the parking and with the shuttle service, if you have you developed any other properties that are similar to this that you can kind of give some color to the utilization of the parking in a similar where you're close to either the airport or whether you have sort of shared service like Uber and Lyft and so forth.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing most people are Ubering, a lot less people parking, a lot less need for that pavement. Probably 60% max ever in the parking lot. In fact, we're seeing some of the hotels that are closer to the airport at maybe a 0.7 per room parking ratio.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Great, thank you. That's my
Okay.
only question.
Okay, any other discussions by the commission? Is there a motion by the commission?
I'll make a motion to approve PD-221R3R6 AC Hotel by Marriott Lot 1R, 8R, Block C, Duke Leasley Edition, pending staff recommendations.
Is there a second?
Second.
So there's a motion by Commissioner Dobmeyer and a second by Commissioner Morrow. Ms. McGee, would you please call the roll?
Please respond by saying aye or nay. I call your name. Commissioner Donmeyer.
Aye.
Vice Chair Blankenship.
Aye.
Chairman Haas.
Aye.
Commissioner Mauer.
Aye.
And Commissioner Bishop.
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Item 7 is a public hearing, PD-325-R McDonald's. This is to consider approval of PD-325-R McDonald's, Lot 1, Block A, MP McDonald's Edition, a new detailed plan development to allow a new McDonald's restaurant building total of 4,180 square feet on 0.897 acres of land located on the southwest quadrant of Sandy Lake Road and Denton Tap Road at 125 South Denton Tap Road at the request of McDonald's, being represented by Langen Engineers. Mary, would you please present the case?
Good evening, Vice Chair and Commissioners and Chairman, virtually. So this property was developed as a McDonald's in 1987, so about almost 40 years ago. The existing building is about 3,980 square feet in size. Over the years, the site has undergone some minor changes, like adding a double drive-through. Plans were approved in 2023 to add a third drive-through window, which was not constructed. Instead, they're opting for a new building instead. So the existing restaurant would be demolished and replaced with a new 4,180 square foot McDonald's restaurant with the double drive-through. It would continue to provide dine-in and drive-through services. The proposed building is slightly larger than the existing building, about 200 square feet roughly. The site will maintain its double drive-through and have 3 windows through the drive-through, pay, and pickup windows. The on-site parking on the north and south is angled and striped for a one-way direction. The parking along Denton Tap is 90 degree and will remain at 90 degree. There will be a trash enclosure in the same location, but angled at the rear with dry storage area. There is a parking variance being requested, so the proposed site plan shows 35 parking spaces and 13 drive-through spaces, so roughly 48 if you count the drive-through areas. So with the restaurant requires a 1 parking space per 100 square feet, so roughly 41 parking spaces. Based on discussions with the applicant's representatives, the majority of their sales are drive-through, and so staff has no objection to that parking request. They are proposing a monument sign on Denton Tap Road. They received permission to move the sign closer to the street. We see it outlined in red there along Denton Tap. As allowed by ordinance. So they're currently showing it kind of in the island. We're working with them to see if we can move it a little bit closer to meet ordinance requirements or slightly more than that. So the sign that they are proposing, the ordinance allows for a 40-foot monument sign, 40-foot square foot monument sign for commercially zoned properties under 2 acres with a maximum 4 feet in height. They are requesting an exception to this to allow them to have a monument sign that is 3.5 feet wide, but 5 foot in height. So the overall square footage is significantly less than the 40 square feet, but it would be about a foot taller than what the ordinance currently allows. In terms of the site, it slopes down from Denton Tap to the parking lot, so the taller sign would allow for better visibility due to the easement constraints. So staff is also in favor of this request. Overall, they are actually providing more landscaping for this site than what is currently there. They're going to add additional trees around the perimeter, shrubs in the parking areas and along the building. The landscape along Denton Tap will remain the same width, 14 feet in lieu of the 15-foot, as the fire lane in this area is set and follows other developments in this section of Denton Tap. They are providing decorative paving in the parking area adjacent to the building on the north side. So in terms of building elevations, it'll be a combination of brick, stucco, metal wall panel system along the upper portion of the building and aluminum batten vertical accents. As mentioned earlier, this is there's an indoor dining area and a double drive-through with 3 windows. The signage shown on the buildings here are for illustrative purposes only. So signage will need to comply with city requirements. Because this is a zoning change request, we did mail out letters, 15 within 200 feet as required by state law, additional 80 within 800 feet as a courtesy notice. We did receive 2 responses. One from the resident directly behind McDonald's. So essentially they're undecided, but they did have concerns over noise from delivery times on Sunday, power washing and blowers after 10 p.m., early AM trash collection times, and lighting. And I did present with you in the pre-meeting their letters. There was one other response, someone along Juniper. They were in opposition of this request, essentially, just to summarize, opposed to the noise from trash pickup, lighting, delivery noise, dust and debris from construction, and how that will impact their use of their backyard and pool. Again, you did receive a copy of their email as well. They did have some requests for or questions about trash collection, delivery, cleaning times, noise and lighting studies. So a lot of that will be taken care of with the building permit. So they will have to submit like photometric plans with that. So staff is recommending approval of the request subject to the following conditions. 1, that there may be additional comments during the detail engineering review. 2, to allow for a restaurant with 2 drive-throughs as presented. 3, to allow the landscaping as presented. 4, that the hours of operation to remain the same. Lobby hours from 5 to 10, drive-through hours from 24 hours a day. 5, to approve the requested monument sign. All proposed building signage shall require a separate submittal and permit. That is the end of my presentation, but the applicant is here as well to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mary. Are there any questions or discussion by the commission?
I have a question of Mary.
Okay, Chairman Hawes.
Yeah. So could you clarify, Mary, is the parking variance request, is that a result of the increase in size of the building, or was there going to be an issue anyway with the site?
It's really more of the reconfiguration of their dumpster enclosure, where right now it faces one direction, they're angling it and adding dry storage. So that took out a couple spaces. They're angling their parking. They're adding additional landscaping within the parking areas. So that kind of makes up for the rest of the elimination of the parking spots.
And I would like to ask the applicant about their data and what they're seeing, in fact, by way of trip generation, but what recourse would we have if there is an issue with parking? Has the applicant come forward with any kind of shared parking agreement with some of the adjacent properties or anything like that?
I'd like for the applicant to, I think they have
Okay.
some information that they'd like to share.
Yeah, that's fine.
Any other questions, Chairman Hawes?
No, I'm good. Thank you, though.
Okay.
And we can wait for after the applicant's presentation.
Okay, Commissioner Mauer?
I can ask that.
Okay. Okay, is the applicant here to present? Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Margaret Grissom, 2999 Olympus Boulevard, Dallas, Texas, 75019.
Thank you.
With Langen Engineering.
And I'm Larkel Ludwig, 125 South Denton Tap Road in Coppell. I'm the operation manager for the McDonald's.
So I think they had questions about the parking.
Yeah, so the drive-through currently has about 73% of the business going through it.
Can you hear that, Eddie?
Did you present any data to staff for them to review, or is it simply just what you're seeing and you're expressing that without any data backup?
This is data collection from McDonald's, and we did not present that to staff. It wasn't requested.
Okay. And so, and I do see that there are reductions in trip generation for fast food with the new 12th edition of Trip Gen by the Institute of Transportation Engineers. But if there is a parking situation, what would be your course of action? I mean, I hope that you're parking at 73%, or as you say, but let's just say that it becomes under-parked and you're having an issue with clientele. What is your recourse? Because we can't have traffic backing out onto Denton Tap.
Yes, sir, I understand. Currently, there's no issues with parking on the site. With the double drive-through, more people are going through there. Sometimes it's higher percentage than that. So we don't foresee any parking issues.
We do not currently have any issues with customers coming to the restaurant in dining, parking at all, sir.
Would there be any issue with seeking an arrangement with your adjacent commercial properties for potential shared parking if that became an issue?
We could share with 151 because sometimes they also come and park in our lot. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. That answers my question on parking. I did have a question regarding the kiosks and the speakers. I remember that was an issue when the site came through the process a few years ago about sound and concern by the residents. And if you're operating 24/7, I think I recall there was some. There was going to, you all ensured that there would be no, I think it was no sound greater than 65 or 67 decibels at the fence line or something to that effect. But I just want to make sure that, and I know we have the same number of drives, but I just want to make sure that that doesn't become an issue going forward.
So we do have a report from our headset system provider, HME, that does explain the decibels with a car there, without a car there, how the volume gets less as it goes out, more as it comes in. Matter of fact, I was on the phone with her earlier today, and as a standard, the decibels in a standard installation on install is 84 with no car, no obstructions at the speaker. As it goes out, it's less.
Okay. And Mary, are we comfortable with this?
And we also have control to turn it down.
Okay, can you say that?
We also have control on the bass in the store to control the sound.
Okay, so in reality, what will happen then is if there are issues, it's going to be a complaint to the staff, which then staff's going to then call y'all, and then you're going to have to lower the volume. And so I guess what I'm trying to seek is that there are no calls because of sound.
Right.
And I'd like to make sure that that doesn't become an issue going forward. I appreciate that you are providing data that at the adjacent wall line, it shouldn't be an issue, but I just want to make sure that particularly sound doesn't become a problem going forward.
With regard to the sound, would you be opposed to turning down the sound after the business, after the 10 o'clock and before 7 a.m.?
Of course not.
Okay.
We also have additional landscape screening back there as well to help with the buffering the sounds.
Will that also help with the light?
Yes, ma'am. And also with the lighting, the lumens or the lighting that's going to be installed is lower than the current ones now.
Will it also have shielding on it?
Internal shielding inside the light, that will be, yes.
Yeah, it's a completely different company.
Okay. Any other questions? Commissioner Bishop?
Thank you. So you're expanding your building. Does that mean the dining room's expanding or the kitchen or something else?
So the building will get longer and the dining room is shorter. The back of the house, the kitchen, is getting bigger.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, this is a public hearing, and I do have two people signed up to speak on this. Christoph, I'm sorry, and I apologize if I, Sayer? I demolished it, I'm so sorry.
Christoph Siré. 118 Arbor Manor, I'm right behind McDonald's. So I believe my wife complained about the light in the past and the sound of the drive-through. The drive-through sound has been somewhat fixed and it's not too loud, but the light is currently very horrible. So I would like to understand better how much lower the light is going to be and if the light is directed towards the parking area rather than the house and shielded off. Because right now in our bedroom and in our living room, we're right behind the wall. So we can hear everything. We can hear the trash pickup at 5:30 in the morning. That's horrible. The delivery on Sundays from Benny Keith, they park right in front of that wall. They come really early.
Please address your comments to the commission.
That's not, okay. So there's a truck there delivering somewhere food, and it's parking there for at least an hour plus. That's really loud. And there's cleanup at night after 10 o'clock with a blower or with a compressor to water, what's it called, power wash the parking lot, and that's really loud at 10 o'clock. That's unacceptable. So I would like to understand how the lighting is going to be fixed. I'd like to understand the addition of the plants or the trees and the scraps, if that is towards that wall, to make it higher there to protect the sound a little bit. And that's it in a nutshell. You see? Yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. We have another speaker signed up, Larkel. Okay, so you're good right now? Okay, thank you. Okay, this is a public hearing. Is there anybody else who would like to speak for or against the proposed application? Okay, seeing none, I will close the public hearing. So are there any other questions or discussions by the commission or questions? Commissioner Mauer?
Yes. So, Mary, so it sounds like, as we talked about in pre-session, that the photometric study will be done as part of the building permit or engineering review.
Correct.
And then it also sounds like from where it is today, it'll be improving from a distance that the light travels. Although, I guess at this point we don't have any information on the photometrics. In terms of the drive-through speaker, what is the acceptable decibel limit at the property line?
So 65. Thank you, Matt. So 60 is ordinary spoken conversation. When you get up to about 88, it's heavy traffic. 85 is like a blender. So 65, I would say at the property line.
Okay. And then, I guess, do we know the type of speaker, what that would, like, what it's rated to be at that point?
No, but according to what they're saying is that you can control the volume. So it can be adapted to be lower, especially at those 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. hours. I would suggest you could make that as a recommendation as well.
Okay. And then the second question, Mary, in terms of the monument sign.
Yes, sir.
So as part of the condition, would we need to add, so I noticed on the original slide, the potentially, working with the applicant to move the monument sign closer to the road.
Right.
I'm not saying there's any issue with that, but does that have to be, do we have to specifically call that out as part of the condition, or do you have the latitude to do that?
So by ordinance, it can go like 10 feet off of the property line already. But because there's a lot of easements that run north-south in that area, they were looking at, or we might consider, it might need to be a little bit less than that, or we're trying to figure that out still, honestly.
Okay.
So I think we would like the latitude for you to give staff the latitude to work with the applicant to find the appropriate distance that it could be from the easements.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion?
Ms. Blankenship, in light of the comments and questions by the commission, I would recommend that a noise reduction plan for the kiosk audio system be submitted and administratively approved so that the ambient air noise at the property line is achieved between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. And so if that would be a condition that Mary and Matt would accept, that'll be part of their recommendation. And then the second one was to allow administrative approval of the placement of the monument sign to accommodate utilities and traffic sight triangle as you're coming in and out of there. And that would be approved administratively by the planning department and the engineering department.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions?
Sue, I'd like to follow up on the comments I heard from the public regarding some of the cleanup operations and deliveries. I'd like to understand that a little better from the applicant.
Would you come back up? Thank you.
Yes, sir. So, the deliveries that the public is referring to is not McDonald deliveries. It's
I'm sorry, would you mind speaking in the microphone?
Into the microphone.
Thank you.
The deliveries that the public is speaking of is not McDonald deliveries. It is 151's truck. It's not our truck. Also, with the new design, our truck is going to be pulling on the drive-through side where the double lanes are, away from the residents, so they won't hear the truck at all.
When are deliveries made?
So on Sunday, our delivery comes at 11:30 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
And on Wednesday, it comes at 12 noon.
Okay. To me, that sounds reasonable. Now, what about the power washing, the parking lot, those kinds of things? Are those activities occurring? When do those activities typically occur?
Those activities occur once a year. We have a special inspection where we get our lot striped once a year, restriped by a professional company. And that's maybe what he's referring to, because that is the only time that at my locations, McDonald's, that I ever have power washing or any type of machinery after hours, so that the customers don't drive on the paint.
And if there is power washing, when you said that would occur after hours, what time would that be?
So generally, the power washing, what we do is the power washing is done on a Saturday, and it's done anywhere between 7 and 2 in the morning. And like I said, it's one day and one time only. It's not something that is repetitively done.
Does it require a full 5 or 6 hours to do?
It approximately
6 or
takes 2 hours.
2 hours?
And they try to do it when we're not busy.
Yeah. I guess I'm just, to me, on a weekend, I could see a little later going on, but up to 2 a.m., I don't know, that might be a little bothersome. Is there any chance that this stuff could get done between, you said 7 and 10 p.m.? If it's going to occur during a weeknight and on a weekend, maybe by midnight?
So with the power washing, we do have to close down the business. So we are not able to operate during this time.
Okay. I would like for you all, I'm not going to make that a condition, but I would like for you all to be very cognizant of that and to try internally for you all to try to get that done before late morning, early morning hours if possible.
Yes, sir. We will try to get that done.
Okay.
And as far as the trash dumpster, as noted in the design, our trash truck will also be coming into the property from a different direction. And the trash dumpster that is being referred to is 151's, not ours.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sue, that's all I have, Sue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any other questions or discussion by the commission? Commissioner Bishop.
Thank you. I don't know if this is a question for staff, maybe rather than the applicant. On the trees that are going to be planted on the west side, how tall are they?
So I know there'll be at least 3 caliper inches. I'm not sure on the total height, but
Trunk, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because this was the question earlier to help mitigate light. I wondered how tall those trees were going to be. Yeah, somebody said there's power lines there, so they can't be that tall because they would interfere with the power lines.
Right. And so also, where those trees are located, then there's an alley behind it, and then a wall. So McDonald's doesn't back up directly to the residence, there is an alley in between, or a roadway, rather.
That's true.
Is that alley their property or is that
It's
public property?
151,
Behind.
yeah. 151 has kind of an oddly shaped lot. It has access out to Sandy Lake.
Okay, is there any other questions or discussion by the commission? Is there a motion by the commission?
Yes, Vice Chairman, I'll move to approve PD 325R McDonald's Lot 1, Block A, the new planned development, subject to staff conditions with the additional 2 conditions. The first of which is that a noise reduction plan be submitted for administrative review and approval to allow for the mitigation of sound from primarily from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. And then 2, administrative approval, to allow for administrative approval for the location of the monument sign to address easement and utility placements as it relates to the monument.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, the motion by Commissioner Mauer, second by Chairman Haas. Ms. McGee, would you please call the roll?
Please respond by saying aye or nay as I call your name. Commissioner Donmeyer,
Aye.
Vice Chair Blankenship,
Aye.
Commissioner Haas, I'm sorry, Chairman Haas,
Aye.
Commissioner Mauer,
Aye.
Commissioner Bishop.
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Okay, item 8 on the agenda is an update on the city council items. The commission was updated by city council items during the work session. And item 9 is adjournment. There being no further business before the Planning and Zoning Commission, I adjourn the meeting. The time is 7:21.